My name is Rob Wiley, and I'm here today speaking with Austin employment lawyer Colin Walsh. Now, a lot of times employers throw out this term, employment at will, but there's a lot of confusion about what exactly employment at will means. So, in the employment law context, what is employment at will?
Employment at will simply means that your employer can fire you for any reason or no reason at all, as long as that reason is not prohibited by any other laws.
Now, let me ask, does that mean reasons that could be unethical, untrue, malicious, mean-spirited? Those things seem like a real injustice. Does the Texas legislature often let employers get away with that kind of treatment?
Unfortunately, they do. And we have a lot of people come into our office who have been fired for unethical, unjust, unfair, mean-spirited, or just plain wrong reasons. But unless it violates some other employment law, then it's going to be okay under state law.
So, as an employment lawyer, how do you get around this doctrine of employment at will?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. Most of our job is getting around this employment at will doctrine. And the way we do it is we look for the cause of action that is prohibited by other laws. So, for example, an employee cannot be fired because of their race, because of a disability, because of a religion, because of their gender.
I think that that's true about employment law. I mean, so much of it is about the mental state, like what somebody was thinking. Termination in and of itself isn't illegal, but if you terminate somebody because of race, then that would violate several laws.
That's absolutely true. And one of the hardest things for a lot of potential clients is knowing whether or not that intent, that thing in your mind, is what caused it. Because nobody comes out and says, I'm firing you because of your race. I'm firing you because of your gender or because of your disability. And that's where an employment lawyer is really going to be able to help you find the real reason for that termination. Because while it's true that in Texas and under at-will employment you can be fired for any reason or no reason at all, employers have a reason for terminating you. And an employment lawyer is going to help you be able to find that and discover whether or not you do have any remedies or rights to combat that.
And have you sometimes had people come in that maybe thought that they had a claim because of one thing but found something else?
That happens all of the time. Employees will come in, or former employees will come in and say that they were fired because of an unethical decision. And we will go and we will talk to them about what happened, the facts leading up to it, whether other employees are held to the same standards. And we will discover that there were other reasons. Sometimes those violate other laws, and often we're able to help them get justice for what happened to them.
But just to be clear, let's say an employer says, you are an employee at will. We can fire you for any reason or for no reason whatsoever. If that employee experiences race discrimination or age discrimination, could they still have a legal case despite being employees at will?
Absolutely. That employee, if he was discriminated against because of his race, because of his age, will have a cause of action against his employer, regardless of whether he was employed at will, regardless of whether the employer gave him a reason for his termination.
Well, and I think one other thing to remember is, though, the vast majority of employees in Texas are employees at will. There are still some employees who aren't. They're employees for cause or for term. Do you want to talk about those kinds of employees, what they are?
Yeah, these are rarer types of employment agreements or employment relationships. But some employees, and usually they're executives or high-level managers or supervisors at particular jobs, will have what's called a for-cause employment arrangement. And that simply means that they're not able to be fired for any reason or no reason at all, but rather they have to have, the employer that is, has to have good cause or cause to fire them. And that cause is going to be defined in an employment agreement or in an employee handbook. Usually it includes things like misconduct, embezzlement, or fraud. But it's really important to contact an employment attorney in order to determine whether or not you have such a relationship and what cause is and whether cause was met in your particular situation. It is a fact-intensive discussion.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.